And happy Super Bowl Sunday to you. We are coming live on Riverside and all of your podcasting platforms here. It is Super Bowl Sunday. Welcome back to the CSS, Cincy Sports Scene podcast. I am Dave. The gentleman in the middle is Sam, and the gentleman on your left, my right, is Charlie.
Hello.
Today we got a big show. I know it's a Super Bowl Sunday, so we're moving it up a little bit to 11 a.m. on a Sunday morning. So, we might not be in our full throttle yet, but we've got an abbreviated week that was. There's some interesting comments coming out of, the place on Paycor Stadium there. We'll see what that entails. And then we also have our trivia question, and then we have a special Super Bowl roster edition. We are going to draft the best Bengals players that never made a Super Bowl. And we'll see if they could compete with teams today. Without further ado, let's go right into the week that was. Gentlemen, how was your week so far?
Not too bad. Can't really complain.
Yeah, I'm on a hamster wheel right now. Week to week, working on the house, getting it ready. So that's still my what I've been doing. So getting close. If you're looking for a house in Fairfield Township,
all right,
let me know.
There you go. You'll hear it first here, and we'll let you know when it actually goes on the market. But the week that was, shout out to UC basketball. They took 2 this week, and some diehard Bearcats may have said, because Bob Huggins was in the house, that UC finally played like the UC of old. They beat UCF 93-83, and then last night they it was close. They were trailing at halftime, but they came out and they put on an 18-0 run on the Cougars, and they ended up just running away with the game at 84-66. Great night of shooting, and I think that's what, if we can take one thing away, I think that's what it is. If this team comes out and shoots the ball like they are capable of, like last night, this could be a really fun team to watch. Thoughts on the Bearcats this week?
Yeah, I mean, the offense looked legit. So whatever Wes Miller did previous week in practice, I know they played dodgeball one day. I guess just keep it up, because the offense actually looked like a legitimate Big 12 offense. I mean, they scored in the 90s and then in the 80s last night. And, I mean, they still played good defense to go along with it. It wasn't like these were 2 shootouts. So, I mean, I think it just kind of shows, like, if you're seeing the ball go through the basket, your effort's going to be better on the defensive end as well, I think. So that, I mean, it's something that we've been saying all year, pretty much my whole life with UC basketball. So when their offense is just decent, they're a really good team. But when their offense isn't even decent, it doesn't really matter how good you are defensively, because it's just naturally you're just not going to have the effort there, because you're just not going to be as locked in when you're not making baskets.
Yeah, I agree. It's been good to see. I mean, and their offense was as bad as it could be. Like, it's not, some of the Huggins and Cronin years were, average to bad offense, but these were offenses. So, I mean, you can't score 40 points in a college game. The fact that these last 2 games, they've been in the 80s, and UCF, they were in the 90s, weren't they? Where's that been? That's just, it's all of a sudden it's clicking in. They got, 2 Jizzle and Day both had nice offensive games yesterday. They've got 2 straight games where they had guys scoring in the 20s, and they only had 1 game previous to this. That was the first game of the year. They had somebody scoring in the 20s. That's not good. That has to be one of the lowest in the countries, if not the lowest in the country. And so whatever's going on, and maybe a little bit of it's a competition. I mean, but they also have lost. They got destroyed by BYU the first time around. So let's see what happens the next couple games. They got Utah, which again is a team they should beat, especially at home, especially with the way they're playing. But they've already lost to Utah, so this isn't Utah is capable of beating them. And then the real game, depending on how that goes, I think that's a must-win game. You're at home against a team you should beat. And then they go to Iowa State. And Iowa State's, they haven't been playing great the last couple weeks. Definitely not as good as they were. They were up to 3rd in the country, I think, and now they're in the teens. maybe it's time to get them and at their place. And those are the kind of games that they need if they, hope to kind of claw back into the tournament. So tournament picture.
Sam stopped recording. What's the matter? Sam. Okay. Sam, go ahead and close all your apps out and refresh it. For some reason, he disappeared. I don't know what happened. But we're going to continue on with the week that was, and he'll hopefully pop back up. All right. We're moving on to the Red Spring Training Pitchers and Catchers report Monday, right? And then the players report on Friday for the weekend. And it's exciting. The eternal hope, I guess it is, with Reds baseball and just the start of spring training, warmer weather. You just dream about that, especially in this area of the of the country where it's still kind of cold and blah out. And we are sitting there looking at some of the question marks for the Reds. And I know we'll be getting into it as spring training progresses, but what's one thing you are looking for the spring training there, Crawley, with the Reds?
Yeah, for me, it's the shakeout of the infield. They got too many players for the infield. So where are they going to end up? Where are these guys playing? It's I find maybe there's multiple things that I'm looking forward to with Francona being the manager, but one of those that I'm looking forward to is I think Francona is one with a new voice and new eyes, fresh eyes looking on the situation. But I also think Francona is not going to kowtow to, just because someone has been playing a position or, we might hurt his feelings, we can't move him around or whatever. So, because I think the best lineup is Ellie going to third. That's what I wish for. No, with David Bell would not happen. There's no chance because he would worry about, I might hurt his feelings a little bit and not put the best team out there. And maybe ultimately Francona decides that the best team is Ellie at short because of those potential at short. But I do not want to see Gavin Lux in the outfield, and I have a bad feeling that's what people are going to try to make him, into just to get him in the lineup. I don't really want to see Candelario at third either. I think he's a terrible third baseman. But so that's what I'm looking for, just how all these infield pieces end up playing. Steer. They talked about trying to get more infield with Austin Hayes being here, so they just have too many infielders and not enough positions for the guys that they need out there. So using the DH, how's that going to play out?
Sam, what about you? What are you looking forward to at the start of spring training?
I want to see our pitchers stay healthy. I don't want to see any early arm issues, especially out of key guys like Green, Lodolo, Singer. Really, those three I think are going to be our top three going into the year. I want them to start the season healthy, ready to go, ready to throw 6 innings. That's not how it works. Ready to throw 5 innings if need be, working up to 6. But I want to see them ready to go and not have to start on the IL, miss half of spring training, or not be ready for opening day. I think that's the most important piece for us.
Yeah. I think for me, the most important piece is just to see how well McLean, CES, and even to a certain extent, Friedel, how they respond to their injuries, right? And what does that look like? Is McLean going to be the McLean of 2 years ago? Or is it going to take him a lot longer to get back? Because he missed a whole year and 2 months of professional baseball. And how is he going to react? Is CES even in the Reds' thoughts at to break camp, or is he going to be AAA and just working his way back in case there is an injury? So those are the two. And then Friedel, just is he going to get injured? Because all three of them are injury prone, and that's the thing. Is which ones will they be able to whatever you want to call it, maintain a healthy 2025 season? And that's what I'm looking for. See how Francona plays them early on, those type of things. And I think we'll, by week 2, week 3, we'll get a sense of what's going to happen as far as the infield. Crawley, with your shakeup, if CES goes down, then that frees a spot for Candelario at first or Steer as well. All right, some news coming out of the players from the Bengals. Joe Burrow's comments. We'll get into those and just putting pressure on the Brown family to change their ways to get in the 21st century versus the 20th century of how they're doing business. Trey Hendrickson, little comment that he wants to be paid now, get traded, because he doesn't want this to go into training camp. So thoughts on the off season, I guess. Burrow's comments first, obviously, and then if we have time, Trey's.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely appreciate Burrow speaking up. He's the face of the franchise. Everything basically centers on him. We all know that if he was injured the whole season, this team has no chance of doing anything that we care about. So, with it, I'm happy speaking up, putting the screws to the family, and we know what he wants, and so for them not to do any of that stuff, they can't give us this bull crap line. They try to say we're all aligned. Well, obviously you're not. If you don't do any of the almost every one of those things that Burrow is saying. He's also alluded to restructuring his contract, which I think if he's willing to do that, that would be helpful. Just from a salary cap, because they can't just re-sign those same guys, because then they just have the same team we just had, and we saw how that played out. So there has to be money to be able to bring in some free agents on the defensive side, and they got to draft better, and he kind of alluded to that as well. So I appreciate it, and hopefully that keeps going.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't say anything. I thought we didn't know. I mean, we know that to be successful, they need to re-sign all these guys. But it was nice just to hear him say it publicly and just kind of apply that pressure publicly. Because, I mean, a lot of times quarterbacks are just kind of, they'll stick up for their guys, but they still say they can just win with whoever. Just give me whoever, because they have that confidence. And we see time and time again that really isn't how it plays out. You need elite playmakers, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And you need a game wrecker on defense, which Trey can be. So it's definitely nice to hear him say it publicly. I think every single Bengal, whenever they get the opportunity, should press the Browns and Blackburns on how they spend the money, because they don't do it up to the times. They're still very cheap, and with how they structure contracts and the guarantees and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the big thing, right? Is the structuring of the contract, where they guarantee the signing bonus, but they don't guarantee it through the length of the contract. That's something that needs to change. Just a little pushback when you said, we need playmakers. We do. But if you look at the team that's in the Super Bowl, they've lost their best receiver, arguably, in Tyreek Hill, and they still went back.
Well, they still have an elite playmaker. Travis Kelce is an elite playmaker. Maybe not this year, but the last 2 years, yes, he was.
The last 2 years, yes, but we would have Chase, right?
Sure,
it comes down to
that's
the
fine.
Offensive line
and defense,
and
theirs are both elite. So,
well, the Chiefs' defense, I mean, they struggled. Their defense struggled overall.
Their defense is the reason they won 15 games this year.
Wow.
Not their offense.
I don't know, but the refs helped, so we can agree.
Well,
to
yeah,
that, I guess. But all right, we'll just see how it plays out here in the next couple of weeks and see what happens, if we get any response from the Brown family and the Blackburn family on this.
Well, I'll just say real quick, I mean, this is the other thing about how they operate too. That's, 1987. We won't hear anything. They're not going to sign these. Chase won't be signed until the last possible minute. That's just how they operate.
Right.
They're not coming out tomorrow and saying, "Hey, we agree to an extension." That's not. So
they're not coming out at 6:10 tonight, right before the kickoff, and saying they signed T. Higgins and Chase.
Mike Brown probably didn't even know the Super Bowl is even happening, and would even whatever. So no, it'll be June, May, whatever, maybe later than that. I'm sure there's some kind of deadlines or something, timelines for T. Higgins
there's deadlines
with the free agency and things. Right. So we'll have to hear something on that,
right.
But. I mean, Chase is under contract. Hendrickson's under contract.
Right.
So that will be a long time before we hear that is decided. That's just, they don't operate it any other way.
All right. The next thing we have is our rankings episode here. We're going to rank the 6 Cincinnati best uniforms this time, and we're going to go in reverse order, 6, 2, 1. Now, are we just their home, away?
I would say their current uniform sets.
So they're sets.
That's how I did it.
They're sets.
All right,
Yep.
All right, let's go. What's number 6?
I'll go first. go with Xavier. I think just the navy blue and silverish white is very plain. I think if they would switch to that royal blue kind of uniform that they have, if they would switch to that full time, definitely would bump them up. Because you look at Pitt or even BYU changing from that navy to that royal blue, their uniforms have improved a whole lot. But as it is, they're in the 6th spot.
Okay, I can agree with that.
I did as well. That's why I had 6.
5th, Crawley.
Unless I've struggled with it, this was tougher than my other ones, previous rankings ones.
Right.
So I moved teams around quite a bit. So I ended up with 5th as the Reds. Kind of overall, the City Connects are a little outdated to me. It's time to shake that up.
They are shaking it up.
Well, good, but I'm not. I haven't seen them yet. So
no, they're going to release.
They're also not doing them every Friday either. So
I know.
I'm sure that's saving money for them somewhere. I guarantee that. So I put the Reds. I don't think their non-City Connects are all that great. When I compare them to previous Reds uniforms, looking back, there's so much better ones in the past. I think they're okay, but to me, they were 5th.
Okay. I went with UC football for 5. I just where I'm at for that. Nothing stood out for me there.
I have FC Cincinnati in my 5 spot. Just they're limited. MLS teams typically only get 2 jerseys. They don't have an alternate. Every now and then they will, but I don't know. They're the 2-tone blue that they like to go with just doesn't. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of navy blue just in general as a uniform color. So they're just. It's probably the worst thing about FC Cincinnati, in all honesty, is their uniforms.
All right. So my 4th, I went with FC. Just some of the same comments, Sam, that you had, but I did like the little splash of orange here and there. And that's why I put them above the Bearcats football. I just, just something a little different for that.
I put them 4th as well, FC Cincinnati.
And who do you have 4th, Sam?
4th, I have Bearcats football. There's a lot more they could do with their uniforms, but they're.
All right, so number 3, back to you.
Back to me.
Yep.
Number 3, I have the Reds. They could use a shakeup, especially with their primary home and road. It's been the same, I think, since 2004, I think I saw. So, a little shakeup there. I do like the red alternates, and, I'm sad to see the All Black City Connects go. I really like those. But we'll see what's next there, I guess.
Crawley, who do you have at 3?
3, I have the Bengals. I like the Bengals. They got they're they have a variety of all their little, uniform combinations. I think it's a little bit, I don't know. I'm not the biggest uniform guy. I think you pick 1 or 2 nice uniforms and you go with it. I don't need to see all whites and all blacks and orange and black. I think the Bengals are a little cartoonish. That's why I would not put them higher than this. I think no matter what they do with the stripes, I think they're a little cartoonish, a little catering to 10-year-olds. But yeah, so I have them 3rd. They're fine. They're fine. They're better than the other ones I put.
Okay. I went UC basketball 3. I like some of their stuff. They're all blacks that they have. They added that. I like that. But there's only so much you can do with basketball uniforms, right? To make them really pop out. So I just went UC 3 there. Number 2, who do you have there, Crawley?
This is where I put UC football. I love red-black as a combination. And so their color combinations with between the black helmets, the red helmets, the white helmets, and then, that combination. So I like that better than orange and black. So it's all, I put them over the Bengals just because I personally like that color combination better.
I went here with the Reds. I agree with their whites and their grays are not great, but their alternates. City Connect, the black ones, I really, really enjoyed those. Those could be our away ones. Who knows? Right? If they're bringing new City Connects, we can maybe go black and red,
which I like better, black and red.
Right.
As a primary versus just a.
Just the gray
7 times a year because we got to cheap out somewhere.
Right. And then, the alternate red, I do like that look as well for the Reds, red and the whites. See, I'm not a big red and black guy because that was our arch rival in high school. So I just brings back nightmares. But all right, Sam, who do you have at 2?
My 2 is UC basketball. 1 and 2 was tough decision for me. I gave the nod to UC basketball. I know same color scheme as football, but the actual Jordan jerseys I think look better just compared to the Nike football jerseys. I think they're just a pretty generic template, whereas UC basketball has a more unique template, base style that their jerseys are. And I don't know, something about the red jerseys that they have on the basketball, it just looks better than the red jerseys for football.
And I guess I go number one and leaves the Bengals. For me, I like a couple of their combinations. I'm not a real big fan of the orange jerseys, but I do like the black and the white jerseys, and I love the all white look. I think that when they brought that on 2 years ago, I just thought that was, especially with the helmet, that is just something that you don't see a ton of, and I just thought it looked really, really sharp. So that's why I gave the Bengals the number one nod there for me.
Yeah, I had the Bengals 1-2. Pretty much same reasons. When you look across the NFL, I do think they have some of the best uniforms in the NFL. The stripes, the creativity of the stripes, like their uniform is not plain. There's too many just plain generic uniforms, that other teams have, and then they try and get away with it because they have 5 alternates, Yeah, the Bengals have a lot of alternates, but they're still different, and they tie in still with the scheme of the Bengals. Like there are all white Tigers, so it kind of plays into it. There's not, I'm picking on the Arizona Cardinals, but there's no black Cardinals out there. Why do they need an all black uniform? So just things like that. Like it kind of actually meshes with their actual mascot, like the alternate or whatever.
So the Bumblebee uniforms from the Steelers, you don't like those?
No. Exactly. Yeah.
Those are probably one of
they're
the
awful.
Worst
Yeah.
uniforms ever.
Or like when the Packers wear that navy blue and gold, like that's awful.
Yeah, the old Packers. Carly, I guess FC's your number one?
No, they were 4. No, UC basketball.
Oh, UC basketball.
The black cat uniform is the best uniform of any Cincinnati team, even though they only wear it every once in a while on the road. And that's my favorite uniform of any of them. I put that number one. And I think their other, Sam said it, red and black on the other jerseys I like. But my main reason for putting them one is that's my favorite uniform of any of the Cincinnati team.
That's why we do this. And we have different rankings and different opinions, and that's perfectly okay. So if you got something different out there, go ahead and send us your comments on which uniforms you think are the best here in the Natty. So up next, we have our trivia. And last week, I gave an impossible trivia question. I don't think anybody answered it. Even I put it out there on social media and nobody replied. I had a couple likes, a lot of views, but no one could get it. So to review real quick, it said, my question was the last year, it was a 3-parter. The last time the Super Bowl was played in January, and I wanted the teams, I wanted the year, and the Super Bowl number. And you guys had no idea. So it was 22 years ago on January 26th. So, it was in 2003. And that was Super Bowl 37. That was the Raiders and the Buccaneers. That's probably why nobody remembers. And it was at Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego. So there you have it. That was from last week. Sam, I think you have this week's trivia time.
Pull it up here. So, I've shifted into baseball mode. So we're going a little Reds baseball trivia here. So the Reds in their entire history have had 5 guys hit more than 45 home runs in a season. So who are they?
Foster's one.
He is number 1 with 52.
Greg Vaughn had 49, I believe.
No, nope. He didn't have that many. I think he had 40.
He had 45. He just missed the one shy of what I'm looking for here.
So you're saying more than 45?
Yeah, more than 45. So 46 or more. 46 or more. There have been 5 guys.
Dunn?
Yep. Dunn is number 5 with exactly 46. One guy technically did it twice. So really it's 5 instances, 4 guys.
Did Foster go back to back?
Foster did not, no.
Okay. I didn't know if he went 52, 46. Griffey didn't. Did he? No.
You're looking at one was within the last 10 years, and then the other guy was way back when.
Is that Not Suarez, right?
Yep.
Suarez.
Yeah, Suarez hit 49 in
Clue?
2019.
I do
Yep.
not.
Clue?
And Big Clue did it twice.
Big Clue.
Yep.
I did it twice. Okay.
Yep. He had 47 in 55 and 49 and 54.
All right. So we get them all?
Got them all.
All right. There we go. Hey, perfect. Get you ready for spring training. All right. Now, for our topic of the week, we are moving into the Super Bowl preview here. We're going to, real quick, just give who we think are going to win today. And then we're going to go into our draft, where we are going to draft the best Bengals team possible that has not appeared in a Super Bowl. So we're going to look at all the rosters from the Bengals that did not make it, who was not played in the Super Bowl, and we need to come up with the team. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to put our names in a random generator, and the first person gets to pick the first one, and then the second one, and we just go like that, and we're just going to come up with our 22-man team plus punter, kicker, and head coach. So we'll have 25 here, and we'll try to speed it up for you, so you guys won't get too bored out there. So first off, who do you got tonight in the big game? Chiefs, Eagles, and are you watching? That's probably the most important question. Are you watching?
I mean, I think we said this last week. Like, this is head versus heart for me. So, and I will watch. I mean, it's Super Bowl. I don't know when the last time I didn't watch a Super Bowl was. So, if I had to put money on them, picking the Chiefs, there's no way I would risk money on not picking the Chiefs. They win pretty much every game. That matters, but I do not want them to win. I'm not necessarily an Eagles fan, but I'm definitely rooting for the Eagles. But yeah, if I had to put money on, it's definitely the Chiefs.
Sam?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be the Chiefs. I'm not rooting against them. I'm not rooting for Philly fans in any shape, way, or form. I guess it would be kind of cool to see history, but I don't really care. I also don't want to see it because they're annoying and they just, I don't know. If the Super Bowl just didn't happen, the lights went out for the entire time or whatever, that wouldn't be the worst thing.
Yeah, I think that the chefs, right? That commercial, the combination of the Chiefs and the refs, the chefs, that was pretty right on a couple of years ago. So I think they're gonna find a way somehow. Travis Kelce will probably catch the winning touchdown pass and ride off in sunset. Him and Taylor Swift. And he'll retire from the game and be her little dog and pony show. Travel around the world, all the tours with him. I don't know how much I'll watch. It'll be on, but who knows? All right, let's move on to our draft. So we have now, Sam, you want to put our names in the generator real quick, if you can? And then Crawley, do you want to keep a running tab? You got your computer screen open and
like who we choose, you mean?
Yeah, like who we choose, and so that we're not doubling up on players or positions. Because we can go anywhere of the 22.
I know, but if we're just, we're picking collectively, we can really just kind of roll down the line, I don't really we need to pay our first pick as a safety, kind of stuff, because
well, that is true.
So we're not stealing players from each other.
All right, so here for
just whatever
pick
you
one,
want. Yeah, whatever you want.
Okay.
Go in here, and I will do the first pick.
All right.
Move me here and spin in for pick 2. Crawley will go second.
So there we go. 1, 2, 3, right across the board. All right, and I go third. All right. So do you want to just go?
Just do whatever you want. Just do whatever you want.
Yep.
I got a list, so I can mark. I can mark
Sam,
who the pick is.
All right. I'm gonna go left tackle Anthony Munoz.
No, he played in Super Bowl.
So it's only that didn't play in the Super Bowl.
What are you talking about?
Yes, who did not play.
Yeah, you cannot have played as the whole. Yeah, you cannot have played in the Super Bowl.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that changes a lot of things then.
That does.
I missed that part of the memo. All right, that didn't play in the Super Bowl.
Correct. Go to Pro Football Reference and you can go to the lineups and just.
Yeah. I will go. Let's see. That changes things, especially at quarterback. Holy cow. You know what? We'll go running back. We'll take Corey Dillon.
Okay. So Corey Dillon is running back 1. So basically, for those of you that are listening out there, we'll be putting this up on YouTube as well. But we have our offensive will be quarterback, 1 running back, 3 wide receivers, one tight end, and then they have 5 offensive linemen. And then the defense, we got 2 DEs, 2 defensive tackles, or nose tackles, however you want to rank those. 2 linebackers, 3 cornerbacks, 2 safeties. So that's the draft. And then a punter, kicker, and head coach. So Crowley, where are we going next?
I'll go to quarterback. Kind of came down to 3 for me. Palmer, Blake, Dalton. I'm going Carson Palmer. I think he's the best.
Yep, I agree there. All right, I'm going to go wide receiver. Lots to choose from here.
Yeah, there were.
I think I'm going to go with, obviously, you got to go with Chad. He's wide receiver 1. And this Hillman Carson. Sam, where are we going next?
I'm going to go wide receiver 2. I'm going to take AJ Green.
Sounds good. Crowley?
Marking some things real quick here. So we've had Chad and Green, right?
AJ, yep.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to leave that position. I'm going to go to a different one. I'm going to go to tackle. And I think maybe the best, beside Corey Dillon, maybe the best guy on the board and across any positions is Willie Anderson.
Okay. Right tackle?
Either tackle for him.
Okay, so, well, yeah, he's right. Now I've got a question, because if they left the Bengals, because Corey Dillon left the Bengals and played in the Super Bowl, so we can.
Yeah, but not for the Bengals.
Okay. Right. So I'll go left tackle then, Andrew Whitworth.
Right. Yeah.
So I'll go. So we got our tackles, our bookend tackles. All right, Sam.
I think as much as I don't necessarily want to take this guy because of how it ended, I think defensive end, I'm going to take Carlos Dunlap.
Ooh.
I mean, he's up there, all-time leader in sacks.
Yeah, interesting. I didn't have him, but that's
yeah,
all right.
I did. He was my number 1 DN as well.
Really?
Also. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Another one who I'm going to go defensive tackle. This is an easy one. Geno Atkins.
Yep, that's perfect. I think we're going to go offensive line. I think I'm going to go guard, and I'm going to go Eric Steinbach, right guard. Back to you, Sam.
Let's see here. I guess we'll go, we'll put him at left guard. I don't know if he played left guard when he was with us, but we'll go with Zeitler. Kevin Zeitler.
Left guard, yep. He was. Crowley?
Still out there playing, old Zeitler.
Yep.
Let's finish the offensive line. I'm going to go Richie Bram for the center. He played 13 years for the Bengals.
I was going to say, instead of Dave Remington.
Yeah, Remington only played 4 or something.
Yes, but the award is named after Remington.
In college, he wasn't that good of it. He wasn't that great at it. Richie Bram was way better in the NFL.
All right, so my turn. I'm going to go. Let's just go finish off. We've got 2 more. We've got a wide receiver and tight end. I'm going to go tight end 1. I'm going to go Bob Trumpy, probably. Sam, we've got a wide receiver 3 yet, or defense?
Defense, yeah. We'll go with the other defensive tackle / nose tackle, and we'll take Tim Krumrie.
He played in Super Bowl.
In 88.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Broke his ankle.
That's right.
He didn't play long, but he did play in the Super Bowl.
That's right. I keep forgetting about that stupid Super Bowl thing. So, I'm looking at reference. It doesn't necessarily say Super Bowl right next to him. It just has their years. And then I got to.
Right.
All right.
Oh, 82, 81, 82, 89.
Yeah.
2021, 22, whatever it was.
Really changes things on defense. And now my damn thing froze, so that's great. Let's see here. We'll go with corner, and we'll take Leon Hall as one of our corners.
Oh, okay. Ooh, Shadow's barking.
Okay. I'm up, right?
Yep, you are up.
And how many corners? We get 3 corners?
We get 3 corners.
Okay. I'll take another one. I'll take Lamar Parrish.
Lamar Parrish, that's good. I had him on my list as well. Okay, I think I'll go with the other defensive tackle. I'm going to go with Mike Reed, back early and gave it up for country. This way, if we make the Super Bowl with this roster and they don't have a halftime performance, he can go out there and perform for people. Versatility is my key, but Mike Reed is mine, defensive tackle. All right, Sam.
Corner. Who did Crawley take?
Took Lamar Parrish.
Lamar Parrish.
So we got a cornerback yet on the board, both linebackers,
both safeties,
and another defensive end, and both safeties.
Both safeties.
And a receiver.
And a receiver still, yeah.
I will take I'll take Reggie Nelson as one of my safeties.
Good choice.
Okay. I'm going to go to linebacker. One of my favorite Bengals, Takeo Spikes. Got an awesome name too.
Yes, he was good. Very good. I'll finish out the wide receiver, the offense, and we've got could have three divas on there, but I think we might need a little possession guy who can, get 2 yards and then go. Sort of. I'm going to go with Peter Warwick. I think.
Really?
Peter.
Wow.
Yeah,
He wasn't even on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put Peter on.
I looked at stats. They really weren't. They were not. They were worse than I thought they were. Like 500-600 yards a season was his max.
But when you got Chad and AJ, you need somebody to,
Well, I thought you were going to go with the other guy who's even more of a diva, but was way, way better. Was
Carl Pickens. I had him, but I was
he's
like,
a
I can't have all
scumbag.
Yeah.
But that's why I avoided the receiver position, because Carl Pickens to me was the next choice, and I didn't want to choose him.
Well, that or Billy Brooks. I thought about Billy Brooks as well, but
okay,
Jordan Shipley.
I need to add it. I need to type his name on my list because I don't have him on there. Peter Warwick. Okay.
Yeah. Peter Warwick. That's who I went with.
Okay.
Punt returner. You can double as punt returner. Need versatility, right? All right, Sam, where are we going?
All right,
offense is taken care of.
Offense. So defense, what do we have left here?
So we got a defensive end.
You got everything but D tackle. You can still pick.
Okay. It's everything but D tackle. I mean, just looking at the stats here, second all-time career leader in tackles is still on the board. Linebacker Brian Simmons. So I think just from a numbers perspective, we'll stay away from the loose cannon of Vontaze Burfict, and we'll go with Brian Simmons.
I didn't even put him on my list. I did.
I had him.
I had him on. But
we'll go stats over, knuckleheadness, I guess.
He also he got in the way of them getting to a Super Bowl. So he's like the anti-Super Bowl player.
Well, I mean, he did get him there at first, and then if what's his face doesn't fumble, he doesn't have the opportunity to mess it up.
I think something still would have happened.
Well, I wouldn't put it past him.
Well, interesting thing, if I remember right, I could be wrong on this, but we picked Simmons and Spikes. I think they were drafted this. They were.
Yeah.
I think, 98. It looks like, yeah.
Yep. All right.
That's me now, right?
Next. Yep.
I'll go the other safety. And I never saw this guy, but I just based it on stats and Pro Bowls and stuff. Tommy Casanova for my other safety.
Tommy Casanova. That's who I had as well. Okay, so now we're getting into the nitty gritty. So we still have another cornerback, kicker, punter, and head coach.
DN.
And DN.
Yeah. All right, so, man, I think since we're trying to win the Super Bowl, that means I might have to leave Alonzo Mitz off our roster and go.
I don't even know who that even is. Never heard of him.
And I'm going to go with Coy Bacon. I'm going to go back in the day. We'll get Coy Bacon. He was disgruntled here and left after some.
He was here for 2 years, it looks like.
2 years, yeah. But he was.
27 sacks in 2 years is not bad.
No, exactly.
I didn't know what his story was, why he was only here for 2 years. So.
Yeah, because he wanted more money, and the Browns, Paul.
No way. They wouldn't give him more money when he wanted it.
Wouldn't give him more money.
I can't believe it. That was only 50 years ago, and we're still talking about the same nonsense.
Right.
That tells you something.
That tells you something. Exactly. All right. Where we're going next? Sam?
So you're down to the only regular position is cornerback.
Yeah.
You got kicker, punter, head coach.
So corners we did Hall and Parrish, right?
Yep. So
I mean, just looking at basing this off of stats, because going this far back, my memory isn't great. But I'm going to go Torrey James, just because he's 7th all time in interceptions for us. So we'll take him as our other corner.
That's some good corners on the board.
Yeah, but like I said, I just going that far back. When
he was on my list, I had a couple other guys.
Yeah, I
mean, who else were you? I mean, I wasn't going to take Pac-Man, like the whole idea.
I had Deltha O'Neal on there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Will Jackson the third. Artrell Hawkins.
No, Will Jackson the third.
Artrell Hawkins.
What?
We're not trying to make the worst team. He was terrible.
Cover the slot guy.
Next, you're going to say Rod Jones, burnt toast to Rod Jones.
Hey, Drake Kirkpatrick wasn't on my list either. So,
Well, hey,
neither was
at least he played on 5 playoff teams. At least
Eli Apple.
he played in the
He made
Super
the Super
Bowl.
Bowl.
He played.
I know. Exactly. All right. Crawley,
Okay.
is it you?
Yep, me.
Kicker, punter.
And
I'm gonna
head
go.
coach.
Head coach.
I'll go punter and go Lee Johnson.
Lee played in Super Bowl 89.
Was he? You
Yep.
sure?
I'm pretty sure he was Super Bowl punter. Yeah, because the top three punters all played in the Super Bowl: Huber, Johnson, and McAnally.
Okay, I believe you. I thought I had looked at that, and he wasn't the punter that year. Okay,
who did you say?
Lee Johnson.
Lee Johnson.
Yeah, I don't have their just years up, so I was looking at
he played for the Bengals.
He was 80.
88 was his first year.
Yeah.
Okay.
88 to 98. Okay.
Well, then I'm not picking punter then because he's the only punter, a decent punter that I thought was available. So I'll let one of you guys pick the punter.
It's coming back to you. You got the punter.
No, it's not because there's only 3 spots left.
Okay, so where are you going, coach or kicker?
I'll go kicker then. I'll go Golden Graham.
Fat Randy?
No, it's not gonna be fat. He wasn't even on my board. So I'll go Shane Graham.
Shane Graham.
Chris Barr? No Chris Barr. All right. Man.
You're probably gonna stick me with the punter, I guess.
No, I'll go punter.
You'll go punter.
I had him on the list. Yeah, I was reaching.
Because he actually, he's 47
boot the ball
yards. Yeah, so he's like third right now.
I had Dave Lewis was the only other one, never even heard of him, but he's like top 5 in their punting or whatever.
Yeah,
for the Bengals punting.
You also have Kyle Larson. Remember Kyle Larson from 2004, 2008?
I do not. I saw his name.
What about Brad Costello?
Yeah,
who is
Brad Robbins?
He punted for 3 games for us, but he's got the all-time average as of right now. So
does he really?
Yeah, in his 3 games.
I have him at 38.7 yards.
Who? This says 49.5.
5. Where are you looking at?
It says what?
Well, we're not picking.
We're going yards per punt. Yeah. It says yards per punt.
Rico, so.
Oh, are you looking at net?
I'm looking at I'm not looking at net. I'm looking at yards per punt on career leaders off of Pro Football, and Brad Costello was 16, 38.7.
I'm on Pro Football, and it says 49.
I never heard of him either, so.
I don't even have a 49.5 on here.
Okay, let's go with head coach.
Yeah,
whoever head coach is.
Well, head coach,
I can have the whole podcast talk about some guy no one's ever heard of. So,
I mean, since we can't take any of the Super Bowl guys,
this one was easy.
Yeah,
this was actually my easiest one of probably.
It is. Nobody's gonna like the name we say here, but it is. It's Marvin. It's Marvin.
No,
it's not.
No, Paul Brown.
No,
Paul Brown.
Paul Brown. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But if you got Paul Brown as the head coach, he can't own the team, right? I mean, but you don't.
But you went Marvin. If you went Marvin, I
was thinking Marvin. I mean,
you went Marvin.
8 playoff appearances. He never won them, but.
No.
Yeah, that was actually I thought easy. I was going to go Paul Brown there, but we're going
Paul
Marvin.
Brown. And my other one that I had, the funny one, I had Homer Rice. So yeah. But let's go ahead and recap that real quick. Crawley, you want to run us down?
Okay.
Offense to defense.
Yep. So quarterback is Carson Palmer, running back Corey Dillon, wide receiver AJ Green, Chad Johnson, and Peter Work. Tight end is Bob Trumpy. Tackles were Andrew Whitworth and Willie Anderson. The guards were Kevin Zeitler and Eric Steinbach. Center, Rich Bram. DNs are Carlos Dunlap and Coy Bacon. D tackles, Geno Atkins and Mike Reed. Linebackers, Brian Simmons, Takeo Spikes. Cornerbacks, Lamar Parrish, Leon Hall, and Torrey James. Safeties, Reggie Nelson and Tommy Casanova. Kicker, Shane Graham. Punter, Ryan Rico. And the head coach of this fine team, Marvin Lewis.
That has 11-6 written all over it right there.
Here's
wild card.
Here's a question for you, especially Wolf, you, because with you having looked through all this too. Of all the positions, not the coach and stuff, but the actual positions, what did you think was the weakest overall for the Bengals history, what is their weakest position? I had a clear number one as I was looking through all these old names and stuff. The worst position in Bengals history.
Maybe. Well, I don't know.
Fullback.
Wasn't a position that we did. No, then you'd have Larry Kinnebrew and you'd have Charles Alexander. You got some real players actually there.
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's a good one. Who'd you have?
I had DN.
Yeah, that
I think
probably,
DN is terrible.
Yeah,
I mean, even the Super Bowl teams. I mean, Eddie Edwards, Ross Browner are your DNs. I mean, they name the '89 DNs. Jim Scow.
Jim Scow.
Right, exactly.
Wasn't there
Jason Buck and Jim Scow.
Jason Buck.
Yeah. Again,
that sounds like two guys that taking you on a hunting expedition,
right? Or MMA guys or something. I mean, they're just two nobodies.
I did have Justin Smith on my list.
I did too, but he wasn't all that good here. He was actually a big old disappointment.
But he was better when he got out of here. Huh.
Right.
And
I had Michael Johnson, Robert Geathers on my list for DNs, and they would be like the 20th best DNs on a lot of teams.
Yes,
those guys.
Yes.
So it was either that or guard. Guard was the other one that I struggled with.
But we had some good guards though. I mean, if you really look at it, I mean,
I guess for Super Bowl teams, count those. But once you got past those, I mean, Steinbach and Zeitler are okay.
Yeah, but they were good. I mean, they were. I would take them back.
Well, sure.
Take Steinbach as he is right now. He doesn't
I would
even have
take
to
Bobby
be...
Williams back right now, and he was terrible.
I thought you were going to say Bobby Hart. I was like, whoa.
Levi Jones?
I might take Bobby Hart.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, Bobby. Yeah. All right. So that wraps up our show.
Levi Jones is a tackle.
Yeah. But we could slide him down into guard. They do that all the time. All right. So if you like what we did, go ahead and give us a like, subscribe to that button. If you think you can come up with a better team that has never been on the Super Bowl, go ahead and submit your picks for us and we'll review them and maybe we'll pick out the best one to compete against us in a fantasy game or something like that. But next week, good show. Well, we're going to be off next week. I am moving my daughter back from Colorado to the great state of Ohio. And so it'll be in 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, our episode we're going to revisit the Mount Rushmores. The last time we did it, we did the division opponents of the Reds and the Bengals. But this time we are going to do an East Coast versus West Coast